Did you know that just one wrong breakfast habit can quietly reduce circulation to your lower body by up to 15% in a single week? That's not just a theory. A 2023 study from the University of Michigan found that men over 60 who skipped or rushed their morning meals had a significantly higher risk of reduced blood flow to the pelvic area. The result? Not just low energy and cold feet, but a quiet decline in the very muscles and nerves that support your balance, strength, and yes, your confidence where it matters most. Now, I don't say this to scare you. I say it because I've seen it firsthand. After 30 years of working with men across the country, many of them good husbands, grandfathers, veterans, and teachers, I've learned something simple. Most of the time, it is an age that's stealing their strength. It's habit, and the most overlooked habit of all is how they start the day. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at 5 ordinary morning foods that hold extraordinary power to restore blood flow, muscle strength, and vitality in the lower body after 60. No pills, no pressure, just real food, real science, and real change. If you stay with me to the end, I'll even share one food combination that's helped men feel a difference in as little as 5 days. It's easy to prepare, gentle on the stomach, and powerful for circulation. This isn't about perfection. It's about taking the first step, and that step begins before you finish your first cup of coffee. So if you're ready to feel more steady on your feet, warmer in your core, and more connected to yourself and your partner, I invite you to join me. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if this topic speaks to you, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from and whether you've ever truly thought about what your breakfast might be doing to your blood flow. Because what comes next could change the way you think about mornings. Let's begin. First, you need to know, why is breakfast important? Let me tell you a story. A few years back, I had a patient named Frank. He was 71. A retired firefighter from Ohio. Tough as nails on the outside, but lately, he'd been feeling like his body just wasn't listening to him anymore. His legs felt heavy in the mornings, his energy dipped before noon, and intimacy, well, he quietly admitted that part of his life felt like it was fading. He had already blamed aging, figured it was just part of getting older. But when I asked him about breakfast, he chuckled and said what many men his age say. Sometimes coffee, sometimes toast, and often nothing at all. Now here's the thing. Frank wasn't doing anything wrong on purpose. He just didn't know that those first 60 minutes after waking up are some of the most important in a man's entire day. Science shows us that during this short window, our blood vessels are most responsive to what we feed them. Our nerves are more open to signals, and our muscles are waiting, quite literally, for instructions. You see, after a night of sleep, your body is running on empty. Blood sugar is low. Circulation slows down, especially in the legs and pelvis. And testosterone, which naturally rises in the morning, needs the right kind of fuel to activate its benefits. Skip breakfast or eat the wrong thing, and you miss that window. You start your day in a state of stress, not strength. And little by little, that pattern wears away at your balance, your vitality, and yes, even your manhood. I know this can sound overwhelming, but the truth is, it's not complicated. Your body isn't asking for anything fancy. It's just asking for consistency. A warm, nourishing meal, a handful of minerals, the kind of food your grandfather might have eaten before a day in the fields. Simple, honest, real. Frank started small, just one change each morning. Within 2 weeks, he told me his legs felt steadier, and his mornings didn't feel like a mountain to climb. After a month, he said something else had returned too. And the smile on his face said everything. So if you're wondering where to start here, with breakfast. It's not just about filling your stomach. It's about sending a message to your body. A message that says, I'm still here, I still care, and I'm not giving up yet. Now, if you're ready, let's look at the 5 specific foods I recommend most to men over 60. These aren't exotic or expensive. They're simple ingredients you probably already know. But when used the right way, they can help restore blood flow, rebuild strength, and reconnect you with parts of yourself you thought were gone. Let's begin with one that might surprise you. 1. Steamed sweet potato with a pinch of Celtic sea salt. It may sound too humble to matter, but this warm root vegetable is rich in slow-burning carbohydrates that give your muscles the steady energy they need to function without stress. Paired with a pinch of mineral-rich Celtic salt, you're feeding your body over 80 trace minerals your cells depend on for circulation and nerve function. I had one patient, Thomas, who started his day with half a sweet potato and warm water. 3 days later, he called to say he stood up without clutching the nightstand. Sometimes the simplest things make the biggest difference. 2. Oats with chia seeds and cinnamon. Forget the instant packets. I'm talking about real, slow-cooked oats. When combined with chia seeds, they create a blend rich in fiber, omega-3s, magnesium, and potassium. That means healthier arteries, less inflammation, and better blood flow where it matters most. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, and you've also helped your body balance its blood sugar naturally. My patient Henry swapped out his cereal and started waking up lighter on his feet and brighter in his mood. 3. Watermelon, including the white rind. Now this one catches people off guard. Watermelon isn't just a summer treat. It's rich in citrulline, a natural amino acid that helps open blood vessels by increasing nitric oxide. It works along the same biological path as certain medications, but without side effects. Eat it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and you're giving your circulation a clean, powerful boost. Don't throw out the white part of the rind. That's where most of the citrulline lives. One man told me, after 1 week of adding watermelon in the morning, he felt things starting to come alive again. 4. Whole eggs with the yolk. There's been a lot of debate about eggs over the years, but science is now clear. For men over 60, the yolk is one of the most powerful sources of choline, vitamin D, and leucine. These nutrients help repair deep muscle tissue, especially in the pelvic floor. 2 soft-boiled eggs in the morning, eaten mindfully, can support balance, urinary strength, and intimacy. Richard, one of my most skeptical patients, called me after 4 weeks and said, "Doc, I woke up like I was 40 again." That's the power of feeding your muscles, not just your appetite. 5. Beet and berry smoothie. This one is a personal favorite. Beets are loaded with nitrates that help clean and expand blood vessels. Berries add polyphenols that protect those vessels from damage. Blend them together with a splash of water and a teaspoon of flaxseed, and you have a circulation cocktail that supports everything from heart health to performance in the bedroom. George, a 74-year-old former marathon runner, told me he hadn't felt this light on his feet in over a decade. Each of these foods works on its own, but when rotated across your week, they create a rhythm your body understands, a rhythm that speaks to strength, energy, and hope. If this part spoke to you, let me invite you to take a small step. Choose just one of these tomorrow morning. 1. Don't worry about perfection. Just make the decision to begin. And if you're ready to try the full 5-day rhythm, type "begin" in the comments below. I read every one. Now, I know by now, some of you may be sitting there thinking, this sounds helpful, but what if I'm already on blood pressure medication? Or, what if I have diabetes? Or even, "Doc, I just don't have the energy to cook in the morning." I hear those questions all the time, and I want you to know they're not only valid, they're important. Let me start with a gentleman named Samuel. He was 68, living with type 2 diabetes, and had been on statins for nearly a decade. He told me he was hesitant to change anything, especially his food, but instead of an overhaul, we simply added a few of these morning foods in ways that worked for him. For example, half a sweet potato paired with a boiled egg. It was gentle on his blood sugar, easy to prepare, and gave him a sense of control again. Within a month, his morning numbers started to improve, and more importantly, so did his mood. Now, if you are on medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or even erectile dysfunction, here's what you need to know. None of these foods are intended to replace your prescriptions, but they can support your body in ways your medication cannot. Food is not about treating symptoms, it's about feeding the foundation, and when you give your body the right support, your medication may begin to work more efficiently, or you may eventually need less of it. That's something you should discuss with your doctor, of course. But I've seen it happen time and time again. For those of you who say, "Doc, I hate cooking," I hear you. Not everyone wants to be in the kitchen, but most of these foods require little to no cooking. Watermelon? Slice it. Oats? You can soak them overnight. Eggs? Boil a few on Sunday and keep them in the fridge. You don't need to be a chef. You just need a little rhythm. And trust me, your body remembers rhythm. It's how we were designed. The last hesitation I often hear is this: is it too late for me? Let me tell you what I tell every man who asks that question. No, it is not. I have worked with men in their 70s and even their 80s who thought their best years were behind them. Within weeks of making small changes, they started sleeping better, moving easier, and reconnecting with their partners in ways they thought were long gone. So if doubt has been holding you back, let this be your reminder. Your body is still listening. Your blood vessels still want to open. Your muscles still want to strengthen. And yes, your energy can still return. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more piece of this puzzle we need to talk about. Because even the best breakfast in the world can only take you so far if two other things are missing: movement and sleep. There's a moment I remember clearly. A soft-spoken man named Walter, 73, came into my office one afternoon. He had been eating better for a few weeks. His energy had improved, and he even felt a little more spark returning below the belt. But then he paused and said something I've heard many times before. He said, "I still feel stiff in the mornings, like my body hasn't quite woken up with me." So I asked him a simple question. "How are you sleeping, Walter? And do you move your body after breakfast?" He looked down, smiled, and said, "Not really. I thought food would be enough." The truth is, food is powerful, but it works best when paired with two quiet partners: gentle movement and restful sleep. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be present. Let's start with movement. After you eat, your blood sugar begins to rise slightly, and your circulation gets a little boost. If you sit too long, that circulation slows again. But just a 10-minute walk around the block, or even a few laps through your hallway, can do something remarkable. It sends a message to your legs, your heart, and your pelvic muscles that they are needed. It helps nutrients reach the very areas we are trying to strengthen. Over time, this small effort can improve balance, reduce joint stiffness, and even support your nervous system. One man I worked with, named Howard, began his mornings by stretching his arms overhead and marching in place while his oatmeal cooled. Nothing fancy, just 5 minutes. But within a week, his feet felt lighter, and he no longer needed the wall for balance when brushing his teeth. The body responds to kindness, and movement is a form of kindness. Now let's talk about sleep. It is easy to dismiss sleep as something passive, but while you rest, your body is hard at work. It repairs blood vessels, it resets hormone levels. It strengthens the very muscles we have been nourishing with food. Without enough sleep, even the best breakfast falls short. Research shows that men over 60 who get fewer than 6 hours of sleep per night have significantly lower levels of testosterone and higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that constricts blood flow. In contrast, men who sleep 7 to 8 hours consistently show better memory, better mood, and stronger morning circulation. So what can you do tonight? Keep it simple. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Shut off the television or phone just a little earlier. And allow your body the rest it has earned. Think of sleep as the quiet partner that amplifies everything you are trying to improve during the day. When Walter made these two changes, walking after breakfast and heading to bed 30 minutes earlier, he returned a month later with a quiet grin. "Doc," he said, for the first time in years. I woke up and didn't need to warm up my legs before standing. I just stood. That is the power of pairing nutrition with gentle action and real rest. Together, they don't just manage age. They help restore what time may have worn down. Aging is not a slow disappearance. It is a quiet invitation, an invitation to listen more closely to your body, to make gentler choices, and to remember that you still have a say in how each day begins. You are not powerless. You are not too late. And you are certainly not finished. Everything we talked about today is built on something simple: consistency. A warm meal in the morning, a short walk, a full night's rest. These are not drastic changes. They are quiet acts of care. And when repeated, they become strength. If you stayed with me this far, it tells me something important. You are still in the game. You still care about your health. You still believe there is more ahead. And I believe that too. So here is what I would love for you to do next. If any part of this video made you pause, made you think, or reminded you of something your body has been trying to tell you, take one small step tomorrow morning. Choose one of the 5 foods. Set aside 10 minutes to move your body. Turn the lights down early tonight. Let it be the beginning of something steady and real. If you found this video helpful, I invite you to subscribe to our channel, Healthy Aging Vault. This is where we keep the tools, the knowledge, and the stories that help you live stronger, longer, and with more purpose. Click the subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss what's coming next. And if you feel ready to begin, type the word "ready" in the comments below. Not for me, but for yourself. Let it be your way of saying, I'm choosing to take care of me. This is Healthy Aging Vault, where your next chapter begins. Until next time, take good care.